we are introduced to the main character named. The man works as a firefighter. Kim rescues a little girl from a skyscraper overrun by fire, but his safety rope catches fire and breaks. The man and the child fall to the ground from a great height. His whole life passes before the eyes of the protagonist. However, our hero opens his eyes and realizes that he is alive and the child is also saved. Kim sees the rescued girl being hugged by her parents. The man approaches them to ask the girl's name, but instead of answering, Kim hears someone insistently repeating his name. The firefighter turns around and sees a man and a girl in black. The strange couple stands fearlessly under the debris flying from the skyscraper. The couple approaches the fireman, and the girl informs him with a smile that Kim died on April 28, 2017. The mysterious couple refers to the man as Paragon, a noble man who died nobly, and themselves as guardians of the afterlife. Our couple's names are Haemonmak and Litakun. The man thinks it's some kind of prank, but alas, Kim sees his body on the ground, and firefighters trying to bring him back to life. Suddenly, a portal opens behind Kim and pulls the man in. Our heroes approach the gates of the afterlife, where a third guard named Gonlim joins the trio. All the men step aside and let our hero pass through. The fiery inscription above the passage confirms the noble soul status of the fireman, and in the company of the guards Kim passes through the gate, but falls into hell. Here a man has to answer 7 charges in court: treachery, cruelty, disrespect, murder, laziness, backbiting and dishonor. At the first trial, our hero is accused of murder, and under Kim's feet opens a veritable infernal abyss, from which the screams of guilty souls can be heard. Our hero is about to join these unfortunate souls. It turns out that once a fireman left his partner in the fire, and this is direct proof of Kim's guilt. But Gunlim acts as our hero's lawyer, and reveals the truth that Kim really did that. But the partner was crushed by a slab, and in the burning building there were still living people who had to be saved. The fireman tried to go back for his friend, but did not have time to do so, because there was an explosion. However, the fireman then saved as many as 8 people from the fire. The mirror of karma reveals that this is absolutely true. Then the god of murder gives his verdict: Kim is innocent. Our hero and his guards cross the river of laziness to the next court session. Gonlim advises Kim not to communicate with the goddess of laziness. At the trial, the truth about the hard life of our hero is revealed, because Kim worked as a fireman, delivered vegetables, washed floors in a sauna, worked as a waiter and a cab driver. A fireman even saved a kitty. The goddess of laziness asks the man why he did it. Kim replies that it was all for the money. At this point, the judge's position changes and the goddess declares that for Kim, money is God. The goddess prepares to pronounce a guilty verdict on Kim, but Haemonmak and Gunlim jump into the water. The guards hold the raft with our hero floating away towards the huge waterfall. The lawyers prove that Kim really worked for money, but the money was sent to his sick mother and his younger brother. The karma mirror confirms this fact. Then the goddess of laziness gives Kim an acquittal. Next, our heroes go to the court of backbiting through the forest of blades. At this court, Kim will be tried for all the lies told in life. The hero's lawyers confess that the king of the afterlife Yumrat gave them a promise that if in 100 years, they will help 49 souls to be reborn, then they themselves will get such an opportunity, and Kim is number 48. The next part of the road is traveled by boat. Suddenly, our heroes begin to be pursued by ghouls, hellish monsters who want to destroy everyone. The reason for the appearance of these creatures: a vengeful spirit from the world of the living. Someone from Kim's family died very evil and stayed on Earth to take revenge. Gonlim goes to Earth to search for this vengeful spirit. In the world of the living, a man visits Kim's house and learns that his younger brother Suong has died. The evil spirit hides from the guards and then flies away. Gonlim flies after him, but cannot catch up with him. The guard comes to the military unit where the boy served and learns that Suong deserted 3 days ago. At this time, our hero begins the third trial. Kim is accused of lying. It turns out that our hero wrote as many as 100 letters to the daughter of the dead fireman on his behalf, where he promised that he would definitely return to the girl. Haemonmak loses faith in the fact that the man will be acquitted, and so asks for help from Gunlim. The guardian gets in touch with Litakun's help and admits that the defendant not only lied to the poor girl, but also deceived his own mother for decades. It turns out that Kim had been sending letters to his mother about his happy life, his wife and son, which he didn't really have. It is a bad deed, but these letters helped the mother to cope with a serious illness. As for the poor girl, on the one hand the letters gave her false hope, but on the other hand, the girl grew up very kind and strong. The mirror of karma confirms these facts, and the judge gives his verdict: not guilty. Our hero and his defense attorneys go to the next court hearing. Kim is sad that he did not have time to give his mother his present, an electric rice cooker. In her childhood, her mother cooked rice in an old pot, but now the woman is so old that she has burned many cooking pots already. In addition, there is another letter for his mother hidden in this rice cooker. Lim comes out and lies to our hero that his mother and brother are alive. But Lim tells the guards the truth. It turns out that Suong has turned into a vengeful spirit and must be found immediately. Lim travels back in time to find out what happened to Suong. We learn that the guy was on guard duty with another soldier whose automatic rifle was off the safety. When the soldier came up to hug Suong, the weapon shot the guy in the stomach. It was an accident. Our hero and his protectors are walking through an icy gorge. This is the road to the Court of Dishonor, where Kim will be tried for his shameless deeds. However, our hero is such a right man that there is simply nothing to judge him for at this court. Suddenly, the ice gorge begins to collapse. Kim and the guards jump into the cable car just a second before his imminent death. Back to Lim, who watches as the officer tries to resuscitate the soldier, but it was useless. So the officer hid the shell casing and ordered the soldier to hide the evidence of the crime. To avoid problems, the officer decided to bury Suong's body, but he didn't notice that the fighter was still alive. Together with the soldier, they dragged Suong into the forest and dug a hole for him. The poor man was buried alive. Our heroes ride a cable car past sinful souls encased in blocks of ice. Hyun-mak accidentally confesses to Kim that the vengeful spirit is actually his own brother. At that moment, the cable car comes off its hinges and flips over. The heroes are dangling over the precipice, and only Kim rescues them with a rope from his firefighting equipment. At this time, the officer gives the soldier a leave of absence and gives him money for his silence. The vengeful spirit of Suong is flying around the military station, and Gunlin is on his trail. Kim and her lawyers walk across the bridge of heaven, and the road leads to the judgment of betrayal. This part of hell is where souls who have betrayed others go. These souls are locked in glass cages and then destroyed. However, we learn that our hero was a very righteous man, and he is allowed to pass freely through these lands. At this time, Gunlim finds Suhong's spirit in the disco club. The spirit has come here following the officer, and wants to drop a huge ball on him. Suong escapes from Gunlim through the portals, but still falls into the guard's trap. Gunlim asks the spirit to forget its useless anger and revenge, for its action destroys both worlds. But the vengeful spirit doesn't care about all the pleas, for it has been buried alive. There is so much rage in the spirit that the whole city is plunged into darkness. Kim and his lawyers come to a huge hole in the void. This is the place where the god of cruelty will judge the hero. Hyun-mak pushes Kim, and he falls into the abyss, and it turns out that this is the only way to get to the court. At this time, the soldier comes to the officer, and says that he can no longer hide the truth about their terrible deed. After that, the soldier goes to Suhong's house, and throws his mother a map with a marker at the place where her son's grave is. After that, the soldier wants to take his own life, and Gonlin watches. The vengeful spirit of Suong appears, and asks the guardian to save the poor soldier. For this, the spirit promises to stop taking revenge and go quietly to the other world. The guards are forbidden to interfere in the world of the living, but Gonlin breaks this prohibition and saves the soldier. Our hero finds himself on trial for cruelty. Kim is accused of beating his younger brother. The fireman stands before the judge, and stone figures show him the events of the distant past. Kim remembers that day, and it turns out he beat his brother while his mother slept in a room on the floor. After that night, the brothers never spoke again because Kim ran away in the morning. Since the perpetrator has not been forgiven by the victim, the god of cruelty declares Kim guilty and prepares to send him to hell. Hyun-mak asks Gonlim for help, and the latter is just at the soldier's grave with Suong, and orders to request a general judgment. Our heroes enter the vast desert, the territory of the Sons of Disrespect, and it is here that Kim has to go through the general judgment of the king of the afterlife. Ganglim accompanies Suong on his way to the other world. The boy tells the guards about the night his brother beat him. It was because the brother woke up and saw Kim holding a pillow over their mother's head, intending to take her life. In the desert, Kim confesses that he wanted to take the lives of his mother, his brother, and himself, because his mother was sick, they were poor, and there was nothing good in life. So Kim ran away, got a job, and started sending his mother money and long letters about his life. A mother goes to the gates of the military unit every day. The woman holds a placard asking to find her son. The soldiers usually chase the old woman away, but this time she still gets into the territory of the base. The old woman is met by the very same officer. The man treats the woman rudely and ruthlessly, and when he sees the marked map in her hands, he throws the lady so hard that the poor woman loses consciousness. Suong sees this from the outside, becomes enraged, and transforms back into a vengeful spirit. The spirit is so angry that it raises a hurricane in the military unit, which swirls the afterlife and the world of the living together. Haewon-mak is thrown to the ground, and only Lideok-kun remains with Kim. Our hero is sucked into quicksand. Lideok-kun's cry for help sweeps through the worlds and reaches Suong, and this stops the spirit and the storm calms down. In the hell of the Sons of Disrespect, the session begins. The judge, the king of the afterlife, Yumra. The judge intends to pass a guilty verdict at once, and does not give the right to a defense. Lideok-kun, in tears, confronts the judge and interrupts him. The king raises the mirror of karma, and we learn the terrible truth. The mother was awake the moment Kim approached her with a pillow. Our hero is ready to accept his punishment and asks for only one thing. He wants to see his mother and apologize. But the king of the afterlife refuses him. Our hero is read his sentence. Don Lim, meanwhile, sends Suong in his mother's dreams. The boy appears to his mother in uniform and says he's been hired to work at the heavenly court. They reminisce about the day Kim ran away, and the woman confesses that she doesn't blame him for anything and loves her sons very much. The king of the afterlife, Yumra, sees all this and declares that since his mother has forgiven him, it is no longer considered a sin, so Kim is now justified. Don Lim, in the guise of a courier, hands the mother a rice cooker and a letter from her son. The woman reads the letter and smiles. The guards are also happy, for the 49th soul, Suong, has appeared on the threshold of hell. They decide to fight their way straight to King Yumra to be reborn as soon as possible. This is the end of the movie. Thank you all for watching this movie to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this movie, and see you in new videos.